Alright, people. Are you ready for some Swedish death metal?
Live fucking DVD coming at you from New York, Wisconsin, California, United States of fucking America. The new live DVD from fucking Dismember. Death Metal Gods.
Everyday life on tour is pretty much the same thing every day. It's waking up a bit hungover around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, walking to the venue because the bus has been driving all night, get some breakfast or lunch or dinner or what you want to call it at that hour, and sound check and watch your equipment and everything like that, do some interviews like this, and that's pretty much it. You play the show and then maybe some party or something, and it's the thing that that's both saves you and fucks you up on tour, the everyday life, because you get annoyed after a while just doing the same thing over and over again, but still it's good to have some kind of thing you do all the time, you know.
On tour you have a lot of free time, so you can easily get bored.
You just try to make time go, try to keep yourself busy. Have a few beers, smoke cigarettes, drink coffee, play pool, play video games, read books, stuff like that, just to keep yourself busy.
The thing that we do on tour is when we have days off, we usually me, Thomas and Tobias, we go to local record stores and stuff.
Behind the Iron Curtain. Fan dåligt.
There's a lot of just sit around doing nothing, so it's very important in that case to have a sense of humor.
That comes from all the boredom on tour and you know, all the weight and everything. You have to do something to fill that out, you know.
You get a certain kind of humor, and basically very raw humor, stupid humor, but it's a way to pass time.
Skeptisk spektakel. Martin, nu! Skeptisk spektakel. 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 Kvistfritt skaft. Kvistfritt skaft. Kvistfritt kvastskaft. Kvistfritt kvastskaft. Kvistfritt kvast. Kvistfritt kvastskaft. Fyrbugg. Fyrbugg. Coca-Cola. Fyrbugg. Coca-Cola. Fyrbugg. Coca-Cola. Fyrbugg. Coca-Cola. Fyrbugg. Kärlekskraftposition, kärlekskraftposition, kärlekskraft. Kärlekskraftposition. Kärlekskraftposition, kärlekskraft. Skeptisk spektakel, Fyrbugg och Coca-Cola, kvistfritt kvastskaft, kärlekskraftposition. Jävlar, vilken jävla harra. Fy fan, vad jag blir det.
Why not party? Party, of course you can party all the time, but it has its price, you know. You come home as a wreck, so I mean, it's a fine line, the thin red line between good and bad.
It's hard to not party because it's always there, you know.
Yeah! Fuck this shit, man. I'm gonna fucking... I'm on the road, man. Yeah! Dude! Yeah! Kick this shit. Ah! Yeah! 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 Woo! Yeah! 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 Dudes! Yeah!
If you hang around with fans, they usually want to take you out to the local bar and get you drunk. So that's happened quite a lot.
Vi gick ut på ett helt vanligt ställe, hade trevligt. Jag köpte in lite shots, mycket som var så här.
Ja.
Säg som det är, you ripped it up. LA style, baby.
I think it's quite boring if you're on tour to just sit with your fucking laptop and it's like there's more fun to be a part of the gang and listen to good metal, old metal records in the bus.
Yeah, we party a lot in Dismember.
Det är så jävla party animal, man kan inte låta det bli. Kan inte ramla ens. Jag får inte köpa det mer. Det är galet, kan inte du försöka köpa det? Jag får inte köpa ett skit. Nej, jag får inte det. Va? De sa åt mig. Jag får inte. Från Tobbe. Tobbe, köp nu mig.
Jag får inte heller.
Får du inte heller köpa?
Jag är skitfull. Vad fan tror du?
Have you heard that you know why you're recording this shit, man, motherfucker?
Aj! Hörru, ta det lugnt för fan. Gick det bra? Sweet potato pie.
Potato pie. Koskenkorvalainen. Ei leikki.
Tomorrow in London in the Underworlds. I don't know how we can park there.
Det var vatten, Tobbe.
Dismember is a band that really has bad luck in almost every possible way, I think.
I guess all the bands have bad luck in some way, but for some reason we always said that there's a black cloud hanging over Dismember.
We're kind of used to it. It's like if something bad happens, like okay, that's Dismember. It's supposed to be like this.
Ooh, bad luck. We've had a lot of bad luck during the years.
Stuff getting broken, stuff getting lost.
Shows being cancelled, tours being cancelled.
Bus exploding when we went to Poland '91 with Grave and Tiamat.
I don't even remember how many backdrops we lost.
And I think actually David has the worst bad luck, I think.
Everything you can possibly imagine on stage happening with equipment and stuff.
Just, crap.
Vi är precis utanför Växjö, Tobbe. Våran buss har kraschat.
So it's stuff like that all the time happening, it's the small Dismember black cloud.
Släng iväg den. Från där du kan gå. Fy fan vad kul.
Det såg ju så här hårig ut. Det är jädrar.
Kul.
Vad heter det här på norska nu?
Gulberg.
Skriver du setlistan?
Kolla vad jag har skrivit. Dreming in red.
Dreming.
Dismember and setlist, that's a really special thing.
We always do the set list like maybe half an hour before the show.
We usually write the set list, I don't know, like 15 minutes before we go on stage.
We do the set list like 5 minutes before the show, usually on really strange stuff.
And we usually try to find some funny thing to write the set list on.
We've done it actually on a human being once.
There was a guy from the opening band who rewrote the whole set list on his back. So tell me about your mission for the evening.
I think I will be the living set list, the working set list for you guys, and I think it won't fit all on my back, so we have to write something on my ass as well.
You wish.
He was standing on the side of the stage during the show, and Matti was walking up to him. Okay, what song is it now? And was looking at the guy's back. That was kind of funny.
As we tour a lot, we we see how other bands handle the set listing, and usually they've printed out a permanent set list for the whole tour that they have nicely done on a computer, with and they brought 50 of them to put on every monitor on stage and everything, and we've never done that.
We have our songs that we know, and we try to play different set lists almost every night.
We could be like, should we play Reborn in Blasphemy today? Yeah, why not? Okay, haven't played it for a few weeks.
The same set list for a whole tour, that would be kind of tiring, I think.
Har sånn flestless fra sitt fjels, sånn å bli der, BSS, offere, autopsy, for livet.
Masters of Death tour was probably the funniest tour, or one of the funniest tours we've ever done.
It was Martin and Fred who then came up with the idea.
That lineup to get Grave, Entombed, Unleashed and Dismember on the same bill doing a European tour is, once in a lifetime thing,
Det håller åt fel håll.
Jag fattar fan.
Tog du kort på dig själv först?
Jag fattar fan.
Grave, Entombed and Unleashed is... I've known them for 20 years, so it was fantastic.
You have longer lugg than him. Så gör han. This one.
That was really good. It was like going on tour with your friends.
For us in the bands, it was like summer camp. It was like 20 friends just drinking beer, and getting paid.
We had a really friendly atmosphere. It's like 20 Swedish guys on the same tour. It cannot go wrong with that.
You went from one place and you had somebody to talk to. You went into another room, there was somebody else playing pool, and you just joined the pool game. Some other guys were playing poker, all bands were, mixing together and having a really good time.
Kejsarens nya kläder.
Är det dags?
The bad thing though was the organization was, it really sucked.
The organization of Masters of Death was truly horrible.
The persons who organized it fucked the whole tour up.
Unbelievable. We wish we would have done that tour with another company, but that's how it is. You have to do your best anyway.
Jag antar att ni får ett team här.
Vi jobbar alltid tillsammans.
GT and Foten. Foten means foot in Swedish.
That was two characters that me and Martin made up just for the Masters of Death tour.
They were dressed up like all the hippie roadies.
We were roadies for the other bands on the whole tour, but we didn't do much, just sit around and drink beer and talk about old memories that we made up.
I think it started in '79 with Motorhead.
Yeah, we met on the Motorhead tour in 1979. That's when we started working together, and we've been roadies ever since.
They were roading for every show on that tour.
People were kind of looking at, who the hell are these guys,
Nu är vi i Frankrike, Paris, Moulin Rouge. Ska vi spela här.
Shows were really awesome.
Most of them were very good.
Sold out shows and crazy crowds, and felt like the early 90s again.
Death metal! Death metal victory! Death metal victory!
Yeah, that was a successful tour. That was good. I would love to do it again.
You know, guys, there's a time for life, and certainly a time for death. And then it's time for your fucking autopsy! Thank you. Special dedication to the president too. Alright, we're gonna continue with the song from the EP with the 5 severed heads. I got it, guys. This is Pieces. Never shit, was destroyed. Live on your breath, black light. Running wild. The death is the rain. Living on. Burn around. Not the best. Dying pain. Live on my own. Being so much pain. Live my life to project. Dying by a god. No more explanation. You're destiny. Danger. Do your suspect.
Godnatt Jenny.
I think we have a really good relationship with our fans.
I think our relation to the fans is pretty relaxed.
Dismember's fans are really loyal, and have lots of fans that started listening to Dismember, you know, in the demo period in the 80s, you know, and that still come up, you know, on the shows, you know. And
South Americans are very passionate. They are very much like metal brother mentality. I think it's very cool.
We like to hang out with them, and it's not like we're some rock stars, just want to sit backstage and be by ourselves.
we usually walk around in the venue and on festivals as well, walk around and talk to the crowd, and we have no problem. We don't have to hide backstage like many bands do. We like to hang around you know, the audience and fans, and have a beer with them and just talk crap with them, you know. We really like that.
Personally, I'm not as social as the other guys, but that's because I don't drink, so it comes natural. But I do want to hang out with fans.
Dismember! 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 Dismember!
I think in Dismember we have a lot of respect for the fans and the audience. Absolutely, more than many other bands that I know of.
To meet fans after shows, before and after shows, I think is very important, because it gives them opportunity to meet the band and see how they are as people, you know.
When they sometimes think, you know, oh, the death metal legends, you know, and then they meet you and you're just, you know, just as much an idiot as they are, you know. Then.
Fucking Dismember! Great!
Signing sessions is they can be really fun, and they can be really horrible as well. If it's a good signing session and a good turnout, you know, it can be really fun. You get to sign crazy shit. Sometimes, you know, people bring their, you know, their instruments, you know, guitars and everything like that. You know,
it's funny. Sometimes people bring guitars and stuff that they want us to sign, and that feels kind of weird. I think that's more for like Yngwie Malmsteen to sign a guitar than for Dismember, but of course that's a cool thing.
For me it's really weird, because I have only played on one record, so when people ask me to like sign this Skinner Alive EP, it's really I don't really want to do that, but if they really want me to sign it, I do it, of course. But I prefer just to sign the record I played on.
Signing is something you have to do no matter how bored or pissed off for some reason you are, or how tired you are. I mean, you can be tired after a show, you can even be ill on tour, which is a pain in the ass. But if there is a fan there with the whole back catalog, including these bootlegs whatsoever, he wants you to sign, you just have to do that. Otherwise, I think persons who can't sign records are fucking assholes, really. You should always be there to sign albums for your fans. That's the least you can do, because they are supporting you.
Are you serious? Yeah. Should I destroy your phone? Yeah. Jag ska pissa på mobiltelefon.
Telefon.
I think Dismember is really different than other bands in the studio as well, because we know what we're able to do, you know, and we don't want to sound like something we're not in the studio as well.
We don't believe in recording albums digitally, because it's a way of cheating.
Some bands, you know, record digitally, and then they sit and fix everything up in a computer, you know, every snare and every bass drum, you know.
And sometimes when bands do that, you know, I just wonder how are they going to do that live?
Du är fast I datavärlden.
Even if digital recording is very comfortable, I still think there's something missing if you're just dealing with computers.
It's not fun to listen to a machine. It's I want to hear a band.
Well, I prefer the analog because it gives more of a live and warm sound to it.
The music I prefer, there's lots of mistakes. Even Iron Maiden has mistakes on their albums, and that's fun to hear.
You can take everything down and do a lead slow and bring it up again, you know, when you use digital stuff that we don't do. But you know, some bands do that, you know.
It's not supposed to be perfect, it's supposed to be good.
All the songs are ready before we go to the studio, always.
But the lyrics, though, that's another story.
That is Matte Kärki. He can come with his napkin. I have 3 lines here. David, you can play this solo, and I'll write the rest.
It's never ready for me. I'm always writing the last lyrics for the album in the studio. Usually, sometimes even while I'm doing the first verses of the song, I come up with stuff for the last verses, you know.
But that always works out great, because he's a fast writer in the studio, and, you know, we usually help him out as well, you know, with stuff. So it always works out great, because he always has good ideas.
I come up with small stories I want to write about, and maybe if I read a book, I write something about that book, you know, small stories. And I think about lyrics all the time. I use my cell phone to write down lyric lines. I use pieces of paper. You know, I'm sitting, you know, having a beer with my friends, and suddenly something pops into mind. I write that down, put a piece of paper in my pocket.
We don't hear the vocals in the rehearsal room. And that goes for solos as well. Me and Martin, we usually don't play solos in the rehearsal room. For some reason, I don't know why.
Of course, me and David do the leads, and that can be both fun and horrible.
Ja, nu, där ska jag inte vara. Kör va?
there's nothing better to pick on than to pick on somebody who's irritated over his, in his own opinion, mediocre performance. So it's really, really funny to pick on that guy at that moment.
When you do a lead in the studio, you're always going to do, 10 takes that suck. And everyone gets to hear it, of course, the crappy parts as well.
Fan, synd. Det var jävla bra hästgnigg där alltså.
It can also be really fun because when you do a lead that you're really proud of and you nail it, then that's of course really fun.
I don't like being in the studio. It's really hard work for me to do the vocals. It kills me. I mean, after every album, I'm devastated. Such a pain for me to do the vocals over and over again. I'm pretty picky myself, so I mean, if something sounds bad, I want to do it until it doesn't sound bad. And my vocals is kind of harsh, so sometimes it's really hard on my body to do the album. But when it's done, you forget about the pain until the next time you go into the studio, you go, oh no, not this again.
The influences is still old death metal bands like Death, Autopsy, old Sepultura.
The early bands, Death, Autopsy, Morbid Angel, Repulsion, Executioner.
And it's still the same influences I get. I mean, it's not like we're influenced by the latest Nightwish album or something.
We stay true to our style, and that is very Autopsy influenced.
Mental Funeral with Autopsy, that's Dismember's riff Bible.
I think we've ripped off a few riffs from Autopsy throughout the years.
That's how it works.
Well, from the first beginning when I started playing drums, and still today, drummers that I liked, that influenced me really much is like, first off, Tom Lee, of course, and Ian Pace. Chris Reifert is really an awesome, good drummer and a great songwriter, I think.
The inspiration I have for guitar solos is Dave Murray, Richie Blackmore and Michael Denner, my top 3 guitar players.
Now later on you brought your early influences, the thing you grew up with, like Iron Maiden, Accept and stuff like that.
You fucking Iron Maiden!
Yeah.
People always tend to ask us about our guitar sound.
People think we have such like a spaceship of equipment, like going into a Stargate kind of thing, but it's no.
Tune down to C, use an old Boss heavy metal pedal with everything on max. Plug it into the distortion channel of any amp, and that's it. You get the crazy, really overdrive, distorted sound,
Some local sound engineers, they don't know how to deal with it because they haven't heard anything like it. Maybe they're used to bands with loud keyboards and triggered bass drums, so there's a lot of feedback sometimes. That's why we always step on our pedal every single break.
When you have a break on the guitar, you have to push the pedal because otherwise...
We made a mistake at the Massive Killing Capacity album to put the distortion down. Every button should be on max. So if you put one of the buttons down to sort of get the guitar sound a bit more polished, it doesn't sound as good. So everything on full.
I remember playing in the States once, and one opening act, they asked us, how did you get that sound, And we said, yeah, we just use this pedal, and show them our old crappy, rusty pedals, It was just scratching their heads, And then we used their equipment that night, that opening act, and we got the exact Dismember sound out of their equipment, so they were just amazed, you know.
In the studio, I can't say that any of us are technically competent. I would say really incompetent.
We're not the most technical band in that way.
Alltså du kan ta bort hela sustain-driven.
Jag gör fan det alltså.
Är det okej för dig, Nico?
Sustain-driven.
Måste minska lite på mid-kompressorn också.
Men det är lite väl mycket multiband här på kompressorn, är det inte så?
Jo, faktiskt. Försök använda den där EK47 istället.
The technical competence in Dismember is on the minus scale, I think. We don't know anything about the technical stuff.
I don't know nothing. I can play, that's pretty much it.
If there's like a new model of some other amp than Marshall, if there's more than 10 buttons, I was like, no, this is a fucking space ship.
We're lucky because we had Nico to help us out with all the technical stuff.
On the last album we used Nico from Entombed. That worked out really well, I have to say. Did a great job and really satisfied with the outcome, you know.
It works really smoothly with him because he is a very professional guy.
Vad ska vi göra då?
Nej, jag vet inte. Det är du som är ljudtekniker.
Det var det jag var rädd för, att vi kommer hamna i den där follan.
Precis.
Yeah, recording an album with Canada Ral. Oh, baby, it's a place on earth. Oh, heaven is a place on earth. Yeah, okay, welcome to Far Out Far Cry Affairs. I'm scared right. Yeah.
Det måste ju gå...
Så snäll vi om wow. This is calling usually our rule is a rule. Alright, and if it feels so raw, you can wow.
What's your name, dude?
Final fruit.
What's that?
Final fruit.
Ja, stämt. Vad är det sån här CD-skivor som ser ut så här?
It's day 55 in the studio. We have some brawling on.
The funniest thing about Nico is just how he is and how he works, you know, and how he behaves. He's a complete idiot. He's one of the funniest guys I think I've met, you know. He's just an idiot.
Since the early days, there's been a few changes of members.
And there's always been a good feeling, you know, in Dismember. So it's always sad to see somebody go.
But I think we've been really lucky, you know, with all member changes, you know.
When somebody new steps into the band, it can kind of give a vitamin injection to the whole band.
I always get the feeling, you know, no, refuse to die, you know, just keep on going.
I think it is, of course, it was especially hard on Matti and David to have a new drummer in the band, because Fred has been in the band since like the beginning and was like, what can you say, band leader.
Fred as a person, a leader, a songwriter, a producer, he wrote many lyrics too. It's a great loss when he left the band.
That was really hard to see him go, but somehow we just rose again and recruited Thomas as a drummer.
I can easily say this been a really the best time of my life since I joined Dismember, to go out and play for all these people and really get appreciated for it. That's really been a really good experience for me, I think. And Dismember was one of the first bands that I got into that was death metal, and one of my favorite ones too. So I used to see them all the time when I was like 14 and 15, going to shows of Dismember. So it's of course meant a lot to me, you know.
Hey.
Death metal should be really raw and unpolished.
Metal for me is good music and a good atmosphere, having a good time with friends.
Dismember's has never followed any trends, ever. When death metal kind of died out in the mid-90s, Dismember still, had the same sound and,
We had a record company back in the days who told us that we had to change our style of music because death metal, according to them, was not in anymore, and they wanted us to change, become more commercial, and we just told them, fuck off, that's not gonna happen.
I didn't start playing with Fred and Robert 20 years ago to be rich.
Dismember doesn't evolve. We're just the same idiots, always, doing the same thing.
If you believe in something, you have to do it from your heart, really.
Dismember are death metal, it has always been and will always be.
You should stick to your roots and don't care about fucking trends.
Support the metal scene. Don't stop buying records just because you can download it. And go to the shows and support whatever bands you may like, and be a retard.
Ja.